So it turns out someone just asked, how's my PMS? Samantha just asked. I just posted about it. So that's what they're asking about. I don't know. It's fine. I feel like in a great mood at the moment, but don't piss me off. Okay. Just warning you. Okay. So I'm super excited about tonight's call. You've heard from, who started? Well, you heard from Doug. You haven't heard from Emily yet. You will hear from her next week. So Doug was week 1. Autumn, Heather, me. I just did a power hour last week. And then today we get to hear from some of the new leaders on our team. So I asked Bailey Fox, Julia Schmitz. Is that how you say the last name? Yeah, Julia Schmitz and then Shannon Harvey, if they would share what's working for them right now. And the reason I asked those 3, so Bailey, Julia is Bailey's personally sponsored coach, and they went diamond on the same day. They're both now 1-star diamond. I think Julia's basically, she had some stuff, but I think she's basically legit. Shannon is just a couple coaches away, but Shannon, ever since day 1, she's just rocked on Instagram stories. And randomly, I just saw on Instagram stories that the 3 of them teamed up to start running some future groups together. And I thought, people that are getting shit done every single month since they started, and also who are now having plans to do stuff in the future, like that's who you guys need to hear from, how they did it to get to this point and what their future plans are to take them to their next goal. So I don't know how you 3 have worked out how you're going to go. Do you want, Bailey, because I see you, I don't see Shannon and Julia, I'm sure. Oh, there's Julia right there. I'm sure Shannon.
Yeah, I can take lead.
Yeah, you take lead. And then I'll be here. And you guys write your questions in the chat or write them down or whatever and ask, because I'm sure we'll be able to pick their brains at the end. But I'm super excited to learn from you guys.
Thanks guys. Hi, I'm Bailey Fox. I'm so happy to be here. We all are fairly new coaches. We've been in the business, all of us, less than a year. So no questions are stupid. So feel free to ask away. Even if they aren't on the topics that you're talking about, we'd be happy to answer them. And like Ashley said, we'll just swing through and answer them at the end. But I hope to bring you guys valuable information. The 3 of us have been collaborating throughout the day to see what we can provide so you guys actually have a takeaway after this call. So we all are just kind of starting with what's working for us right now. And what's working for me, I think hands down, is consistency. I started running really in May, and I haven't taken my foot off the gas. When I found out Success Club 5 was achievable, then it became Success Club 10, and now my goal is Success Club 20 every month. And I don't say that to brag, but I say that to, I'm always pushing myself, and I can't imagine where I'd be in this business if I just stayed comfortable with like the vital behaviors and the bare minimum of Success Club 5. So if you're somebody that's hit Success Club 5 for a few months, it's time to step up and get a taste of Success Club 10 consistently, because commission on those first rounds of free leads is pretty nice. So the next question that I get asked is, if people follow me on social media, they see that I work Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I'm gone from the house 12 hours a day when I work those days, and I'm not allowed to be on my phone. So I work in time blocks, and this has been really successful for me. So I get up early and I make an effort to show up on my stories first thing in the morning, and then I show up on my stories at lunch, I show up on my stories before I commute home, and I show up on my stories in the evening. And I think there's just power in that, because I think as coaches, we're on our phones a lot, but necessarily our audience isn't. But I think me showing up at different times throughout the days consistently every day, there's power in it, because every time somebody refreshes their feed, guess who's at the top of their stories? Like, guess whose face is showing up every day in their things? So I think that's been important, is working on my time blocks and not using me being gone from the house 12 hours a day as an excuse. I'm really using it as a motivation. And I think it's helped me, because sometimes when I'm home with Scarlett, I just like blabber for an hour on my stories, where Monday through Wednesday, I'm super disciplined with using those time blocks. And the second main thing that I'm doing in my business, I'm starting to develop some leaders, and I'm super excited. We have some amazing girls on our team, and I think part of that success that I'm seeing is I'm leading from the front. Like, I always want to be the highest Success Club point leader on my team. I'm always talking on my coach calls. I'm always showing up for my boot camp calls. I'm always there. They're always seeing me, and I'm always available. But something that I'm not doing, and I probably have learned this from my upline coach, is I don't like babysit anyone, or I don't beg anyone to work the business. I just show up as my best self and show them what's possible and show them how excited I am, and I'm available to them whenever. But I'm definitely not a hand holder. And I think that's kind of been a switch in my business, because when I first started, I would like beg coaches like, please work with me. Like, this is so great. You want Success Club 5? And I beg them and beg them. And now I'm showing up at these coach calls and just saying like, this is what you want to do. This is where I'm at. And I would love for you to join me, and that sort of thing. So I think that switch has helped my leadership role. Okay, so sorry. Woo, I get so passionate about this stuff. I think it's just so important. I have the #1 coach in the network as my upline, and I brag about her all the time, but I never like rely on her to build my business.
Guys, and real quick, I'm going to interject. Bailey and I have never even had a one-on-one phone call. Just so you know, like when she says she doesn't lean on me, we've never even had a one-on-one phone call, and here she is just slaying the game.
Well, thanks, Boo. That's sweet. So no, I take what she takes in, and I take all of her knowledge, and I stalk her on YouTube, but I don't rely on her and I do use her Coach University. So, okay. So the other main point that I wanted to talk about is my Success Club partner. When I started running and I finally got Julia to join me on board, she joined as one of my personally sponsored coaches. And we've talked about this on a couple team calls. And so there's a couple points that I want to like be clear on Success Club partners. First, that Success Club partners are not a marriage, because at one point, one of you guys might be dragging the other, and that's not what Success Club partners are for. You are not there to give Success Club points to them or be carrying them, or it's not supposed to be like a wine session all the time. It's really to like motivate and bounce ideas off of each other. And I found somebody who's a dreamer. Julia will think of literally the craziest stuff in the world, and she doesn't mind doing it. And then I'm more of like the realistic, let's look at the time frames, what time of the day, and I'll organize it. And so we work good together, and we bounce ideas off of each other. And I think that's important with Success Club partners, because you never want to be stuck. So if you find somebody and you're like, we would probably do good together, I think it's good to maybe set like boundaries in the beginning and just say like, if this isn't working out for one of us, like we need to take our business and be okay separating. And I think that's important, because honestly, I probably would not be this successful without Julia, without my Success Club partner, because we just do, everything together. So from our accountability groups, she'll sit down and she'll schedule out the whole month's call. So my responsibility is showing up live in our boot camp and our coach, and showing up every day, because she's put in that work ahead of time of scheduling that post. So we balance out the workload, and I think that really helps. So all the pressure, like everyone's just not looking at one of us. And it's also kind of nice in our coach group, because like Julia went on her honeymoon, and I was available for her personally sponsored coaches. And you know, when I am able to get pregnant again and I have a second baby, you know, she'll be there when those first few weeks are just crazy. And so we'll be able to use each other. And I think there's so much power in a Success Club partner. But I don't think that a Success Club partner has to just be one person. And I think we'll get into this a little bit later, but I think we all see this, how Emily, Ashley, Autumn, and Heather teamed up. They're like a quadruple threat. And so they're kind of using it where they're sharing the workload of this coach group. And so they each get a week, and they get to put their whole selves into that week. And I think that's more power than being spread thin of trying to show up every week. They get to just show up as their best selves one time. So I just think there's power in Success Club. And I think I hit all my points, but I just want to turn over to Julia. Hopefully I did a good intro, Julia. Are you there?
I'm here. Hello. So I just wanted to say though, is you can tell right here that Bailey and I vibe so well, but we are, she like took freaking notes. She's like, she's practiced her speech like 100 times. Me, flying off the seat of my pants, no idea what I'm going to tell you guys, but I'm going to deliver you something. So that just shows, like, seriously, it just shows is when Bailey and I scored, we hit the freaking jackpot when we signed up together, really. It doesn't always happen. I've heard horror stories, which I hate hearing, but I've heard horror stories as far as success partners and people just end up not vibing. And that was something that Bailey and I hit dead on from the beginning. As I told her, if I am dragging you down or you're dragging me down, like, I love you, our friendship becomes, it's above all else. So if you feel that, tug on our hearts, like, that we don't have to be business partners. It's as simple as that. Luckily, it has never come to that. And we're very real with each other. We're very honest. We have open communication. If she thinks I'm being a psychopath, she will tell me I'm being a psychopath and vice versa. But this is the thing, is we are complete opposites and we're both good at different things. So I am a rock star at running our groups. I'm a rock star at all of our graphics. She's way good behind the scenes. I would have no clue what the hell my back office is if I didn't have Bailey. So we all have our equal portions that we pull together. And so I think it makes it a whole, really. And like she said, if one of us is busy, we all have each other. So our dynamic in our group is we have one big accountability group. And this is what works for us. We actually were talking about it today. We don't know if that's eventually gonna, cut ties, but we have one big accountability group. And I think although Bailey signs up her customers, I sign up my customers, we all relate to each other on some level. So I can't tell you how many times. So I suffered a miscarriage a few years ago, and I can't tell you how many times a few of Bailey's girls have come to me, to ask me questions or lean on my, talk to me about it or whatever, vice versa. And same with Bailey. I have people who deal with infertility. Bailey has struggles with that. And so we all relate on some sort of level, and we make it known in our group that we are all available to you. It's not just your coach. We're all one big happy family. And I think that's kind of what makes Bailey and I different together is we really want everybody to feel at home, whether they vibe just with Bailey, whether they vibe just with me. Community, yes, like you have to be one big happy family, truly. And just like here, like we talk about all the time, I cannot tell you how many women on this call right now that I am absolutely in love with, that I'm like so fortunate that we have like-minded people in this group. It's amazing. So we feel the same in our group is when we're pulling people in, everybody's up for grabs. We have a certified yoga instructor. She's amazing, like with posture and recovering from baby. And so it's a huge turnout when we have these amazing, especially like our group calls, we'll talk about these certain topics, which is amazing. Something that's working for me, which I'm the oddball in our group, is I love Facebook. I feel like obviously Instagram's where it's at. It's where I do all my stories. It's where a majority of my posts are. But all of the posts that I post on my Instagram, I duplicate on my Facebook. And I will tell you, I probably get 50-50 of my customers, half from Facebook, half from Instagram. I just thought in my head, I kept hearing, I do all my trainings. I'm the first one to be doing a training. And I heard it's not everybody's on Instagram. But I thought, why are we not utilizing another social media platform? There could be people who don't really know about Instagram. And that's what it ended up turning out for me. So just to tell you, it's not for everybody, but I definitely get equal amount of customers from Facebook that I do Instagram. And so that's something that's really worked out in my favor in the long run. Don't opt it out because you think it's not popular, because trust me, I will tell you, a lot of the older community is really what is lit on Facebook right now. Like my mom's friends, my aunts, uncles, like they're into Facebook. The older people do not know very much about Instagram. So it just makes sense. So that's what's working for me. And I don't know, you guys, it's truly trial and error. Trial and error. I can't tell you, looking back, so I started in June. Starting from June to now, the amount of changes and just things that we've improved on, just even our conversations is a huge one. The inviting process, all of it, huge improvement. So don't feel like you have to stick to something if it's not working. And that's what we do, is we try to powwow every single day. Bailey and I are fortunate that we powwow every single day, 10 a.m. on the dot. We're both out walking and we're powwowing on how we can improve this. And so that's kind of where Shannon came into, which I'll introduce Shannon. She's amazing, as Ashley said, literally obsessed with her. She was in the same boat as me. We were kind of floating with Diamond, 1-star Diamond. We were going back and forth and both went through like these crazy things. Bailey had actually introduced me to Shannon. She goes, you need to follow her because she's amazing. And so I thought, well, duh. So I watched her stories. Like Ashley said, like her stories, if you don't watch her stories, you immediately need to stop after this meeting and watch her stories because they're freaking hilarious. So I added her and then we got in contact. So Bailey, me and Shannon all got in contact and we just talked about our stories and, you know, how we got established in the business and what we envision, because we are all runners. Like there's no matter what happens, we're never going to give up. We're going to keep pushing. And so we decided, let's try something new. Shannon has done coach sneak peeks for a while. We have not. Bailey and I did our first coach sneak peek like recently, and it was so scary. And she's done that before. So we're like, dude, let's pick each other's brains. So we thought, why not all three, you know, vibe on this. So Shannon, take it away, girlfriend.
Oh my gosh. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Yes?
Yes, girlfriend.
Okay. I'm like, I don't want to just go for it unless they can really hear me. You guys, I'm so excited to share with you guys tonight. So that was a perfect segue, Julia. So Julia uses Facebook and Facebook has really, really worked for her. But y'all, if you don't watch my Instagram stories, like what are you doing? I'm totally kidding. But I get to walk you through why Instagram is working so well for me and just like a small, quick tutorial and training on why Instagram and why I've been so successful with Instagram. So I want to quickly give you guys a brief background on myself. I started coaching July 1st. So I've been coaching for 7 months and I want to put this out there because I think a lot of people are like, if you have watched my stories, you're like, this girl must have been doing this for a long time. She must be super comfortable. She doesn't get nervous. She must, blah, 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 blah. You fill in the blanks, right? You guys, I literally have like 300 Instagram friends. 300 Instagram friends on my personal page. I started my Instagram from zero. When I started coaching in July, I started my Instagram page from zero. I completely started I was like, oh, I'm going to start a fitness page, whatever. But I really didn't. I completely started over. And so I had to kind of think outside of the box. So I started with my warm market on Facebook. I created my Instagram profile page and I was just kind of like, I was hearing about the fact that Instagram stories were really working for people. And the fact that people were saying that something was working, it's kind of like my story from the very beginning. The fact that Ashley and Emily and some of the top coaches were telling me that something was the thing to do was like, I need to do that, right? So I put that out there because I don't want you guys to think like I had this big following or this was so easy for me or it's just so easy for me to put myself out. It definitely is not. I also want to mention that in the 7 months, I have only had 5 people. So I've had my husband join me for my warm market. Obviously, he's my warm market. He's my husband. And I've had my best friend. And then I literally have maybe had 3 or 4 boot campers join me from my warm market. Every other person who has joined me on my in a boot camp group or as a coach has literally been a stranger on Instagram. A cold, flat out stranger. And I probably have several coaches on this call watching me. Hey guys, so all strangers, you guys, right? That I have converted into my tribe. And so how have I done that? I want to talk about 3 things really quickly. I want to talk about branding really quick. I want to talk about what you should be sharing. And I want to just give you guys a few tips and tricks to take away from this that you guys can kind of implement right away into your stories. So you guys hear about branding all the time, I'm sure. And you think about branding when it comes to like your pretty Instagram and your Facebook profile. Like when you think about your Instagram profile, you're like, I need to be sharing my 5 things. You think about the 5 things that make you you outside of Beachbody, right? But you want to utilize those things to share you want to put those things into your stories, because at the end of the day, this is a virtual world, right? If people always say your vibe attracts your tribe. If your vibe and your personality is not out there and you're just literally making a post, how are you going to attract your tribe? They have to get to know your personality. You have to get outside of your comfort zone. And here's the thing, you guys, when you get outside of your comfort zone, I tell my team this all the time, that is where the magic happens. Just put yourself out there and step outside of your comfort zone, because I promise you, you'll never go back. So you want to think about this when you're thinking about branding. What makes you you? Why did you join your coach? So I think about Ashley. Like, I didn't join Ashley because Ashley has the only Shakeology on the planet. Ashley has the only Energize on the planet. No, Ashley's Ashley. I love Ashley. I joined Ashley because I watched Ashley's stories. I know who she is. I never met her, but I know Ashley's personality not based off of her post. Yes, I read her post. I think she is fantastic and she does great storytelling in her posts. But what makes me love her is her little bits and, all the little things that she shares on her stories, because I've gotten to know her without ever talking to her based off of her stories. So you want to think about what sets you apart. What makes you you? Outside of Beachbody, what do you have? You want to position yourself in a way that is a value add to people's lives. You want to position yourself in a way that you're not cramming down their throat workouts, Shakeology, Energize, personal development. You want to position in yourself that you're adding something as a value to their life outside of this opportunity, outside of Beachbody. Why do they connect with you? Why do they want to join you? Because look at how many people are on this call. They could pick any one of us. Why do they want you? Why do you want your coach? So think about that when you're going to make your posts and go into your story and share in your stories. So what should you be sharing? I think a lot about this because Ashley actually posted something that was amazing that I kind of screen grabbed and put in my coach page, because it's just kind of a rundown of what you want to have included in your stories like 5, 6, 7 times a week. And so I think about that, and I think about, have I done this? Have I done that? And I kind of plot out what I want my stories to be, right? And now it's just become a routine. Now I don't even have to think about it. But things that you should always be including so that people can get to know you is like your morning routine. So you don't just want to like post your workout or post your personal development or post that you're drinking your Energize. If you watch my stories, I'm doing a dance in the morning. I'm acting like I'm showing my ridiculous, goofy personality because that's who I am, but I'm making my Energize. And so it's like, hey, I'm making my Energize, but I'm letting them see my personality, right? Then I'm doing my workout and I'm sharing my personal development. And I might share something that I've taken away from personal development. Instead of cramming it down somebody's throat, I'm giving them back. I'm adding value to their life. I'm sharing something that I learned from a podcast or from the book that I'm reading that touched me, that touched my life, that's going to help me be a better me. And that's adding value to their life. It's helping them tune in to me, right? And then on top of that, you really want to focus in on curiosity marketing. You hear about this all the time. You hear about this in your posts and such, but in your stories, you don't want to take still pictures. And I try very much to stay away from taking a picture with my Shakeology or showing them that I'm drinking Energize. Here's my Energize. I think about, at the end of the day, why am I storying? Because I'm sharing my personality, but I'm trying to start conversations with women. I'm trying to start conversations. And so the only way to start a conversation is if they have something to ask you. If you're sharing with them, this is Shakeology, this is Energize, they don't have anything to ask you, then they're going to go to the person that they connect with and they're going to sign up with them because they like their personality. So you have to, and I don't hide the fact that I'm drinking Shakeology or the fact that I have my Energize or my product or what have you. I'm not hiding it from them. I am using it as a conversation starter. So I will, I'll be drinking something. It's like in your post, you'll be drinking something, you'll have it in a shot, or whatever the case may be. It's because you want to start the conversation. I can't tell you how many people, based off of my stories, have asked me, What are you eating? What are you drinking? What are you wearing? Where'd you get that? What eyelashes do you use? Because I'm not giving them every answer while I'm in my stories. I'm using my stories as a conversation starter, because at the end of the day, that's how conversations are the way that you're going to find your tribe. Talking to people. That's what an invite is, right? Your stories are an invite to your tribe. And then on top of that, you want to kind of move, you want to share recipes, you want to share food, you want to share the coaching life, boot camp life. You also want to share testimonials. So why would somebody want to join you if they don't know that this is working, right? So I try to make sure that a couple times a week, like if somebody is having success and they're just like, oh my gosh, you're an inspiration or motivation or whatever it is, maybe they fit into skinny jeans that they hadn't in forever. You want to make sure you're sharing that in the stories, because people want to see that what you're doing is actually working. People are skeptical. People are skeptical anymore. You guys, does this work? I see that it's working for you, but like, I want to see that the people who've joined you, it also works for. And then on top of that, tips and life hacks. I always try to share things, because again, you want to go back to what value are you adding to their life? So think about something that you love. Like, I shared one night about putting my eyelashes on or whatever, because I know that women are like into that stuff. Or I really am into like healthy and fast recipes. So I share that in my stories, because I know that my tribe is moms who don't have a lot of time, right? People who are working full time, who are running. And so I try to share as many healthy, quick recipes with them as possible, because I want to add value to their life, because at the end of the day, that's the only way that they're going to understand my personality and then want to say, Shannon, I trust you and I want to jump on board with you. They have to trust you. They don't know me. It's literally strangers. They don't know me. So you have to continue to add value to their life. I know I've said that a million times, but literally at the end of the day, it's the key to success. Okay, so I'm going to leave you guys with tips and tricks. So one of the things that I do a ton, and you guys will probably see this a lot, I try to have as much variety in my stories as possible. And one of the things that I do is I write on the story, and then I highlight the writing. And one of the reasons why I'm highlighting the writing on some of my stories is because I hashtag and I put a location on a story. And so what that basically does is it gets that story seen by that popular hashtag and by that location hashtag, people who are clicking into that. So it gets your story out there. It gets your story more views. But you also don't want to be necessarily advertising on your story that you're doing that. And so you can actually hide it behind what you're writing about what the story is. I hope that makes sense. So that's one of my tips that I learned like when I first started, just to get my story seen by more people. And you want to make sure that your stories are interesting, eye-catching, and show-stopping. So put yourself in the position, because people don't have a big attention span anymore, right? And so put yourself in the position, what do you flip through, right? You're trying to attract your tribe. So what do you flip through on Instagram? What do you not pay attention to? That will help you understand what you should then be storing, right? So you want to make sure that it's interesting and eye-catching and show-stopping, meaning you don't want to have 15 stories in a row that are literally your face in the frame and you're talking. Because I promise you, girlfriend, you are so interesting. You are, bless your heart. And I am too. And I love what I'm talking about, but people out there are going to be like people don't have so you have to make sure there's a reason why they want to stop on your story and they want to listen to you. So you don't want to say everything. Maybe you want to write some of it, because then they actually have to pay attention. When you write on the story, they actually have to pay attention to what you're saying. If you put a meme or something like that, make it interesting and eye-catching. That's like that is the key to success. And then I just want to leave you with this. I feel like I heard this on my Diamond Dash training today, or I don't remember where I heard this, but the prize is you. And I feel like Ashley said, it must have been Ashley or Angie. The prize is you. The prize, of course, Beachbody is a blessing, you guys. The products and the programs are amazing and they work and we love them. But at the end of the day, the prize is you. They want to join you. So their only way for them in this virtual world to connect with you is to get to know you. And you have to step outside of your comfort zone. And I swear to God, you guys, every single one, except for 5 people who have joined me, have been people either from my stories, I've thanked for watching my stories, I've thanked for following me, strangers on Instagram. So I just want to leave you with that. I guess I'm going to segue into the fact that, of course, I saw Bailey and Julia's name in the team pages, them commenting, and I've seen their names on the leaderboard. So I knew who they were. But at the end of the day, we connected also on Instagram because we've been watching each other. We got to know each other's personality. So not only are you connecting with your tribe, you're connecting with other coaches who might also be your buds that you can then partner with to be successful, that you can then ask questions to. Who do you bond with? You know what I mean? And the only way for people to get to know you is, again, through your stories and through your posts. And I've said that a million times. So that's kind of where I want to stop. That's how Julia and Bailey decided that we should kind of connect, because they're success partners. And I'm kind of the the odd man out here. But we decided to hook up this year, and we wanted to share with you guys sort of what, I don't know if you guys want to come off mute, but we wanted to share with you guys sort of our game plan for the month of February, and then kind of continuing on this year on how we're going to be successful. And I think at the end of the day, you guys, one of the things that we keep going back to, and I know Bailey talked about this and Julia, is that, and this is something that I talk about in my full-time job, is that you have to take ownership. And you have to take ownership. Like, if I know everybody on this call is a coach, right? So you guys, everybody on this call wants to do it. We want to kill it, right? But that means taking ownership for your business. I'm not relying on Ashley to do this for me. You know, at the end of the day, I'm taking ownership for the fact that I want to run. You can't just say you want to run. What does that mean? You have to put a plan and a game plan. Like, you have to have a game plan in place, or else you're going to fail. So we got together and we brainstormed last week, and we decided that, you know, we have been invited to, and we've had these examples all like I've been with, you know, a coach for 7 months, but I've joined a couple trainings. So Diamond Dash, Emerald trainings. And we're like, okay, we could totally just continue to join these, or we could freaking do it ourselves. So we're like, okay, let's do it. Like, we've never done this before, but I mean, neither had Ashley, neither had Emily before they decided to do it and create it. They created something themselves. It's not because Beachbody said, Ashley and Emily, here's the template to do XYZ training. You guys should do it on XYZ date. No, they just did it. And so we were just kind of like, duh. And so we're taking ownership for our business this year. We're taking ownership and accountability for helping our teams be successful. Because at the end of the day, you guys, the only way to be successful and the only way to win is together. And so we have a plan of attack on how we're going to partner together and how we're going to surround our coaches and hold hands and help each other be successful this year. Just because Bailey gets successful, and just because Julia is successful, and just because Ashley is successful, doesn't mean I too can't be successful. So together we're stronger, right? So what we basically decided to do is to intro, and I hope you guys are okay. You guys, I'm like totally taking over the call. You guys can jump in.
I agree with everything you're saying, and we talked about this before. Is if you don't hit Success Club or you don't rank up, that's nobody else's problem but your own. And I got that early on, and I think we all three did. And so we thought, like, if we want this, if we want to stay at home with our families, if we want to pay off bills, if we want to like truly help people, I'm not waiting for other people to do that for me. Like, you have to do it yourself. And that's where you just have to take that jump. And that's what I think when I started this in June, I thought it's all or nothing. Like, I'm not going to sit back and have somebody else dictate what I do, because think about it. That's what we do at our normal corporate jobs anyways. everybody's dictating what we need to do. So we can't do that here. You have to step outside the box. If you're scared, fucking go for it. Just do it. 1, 2, 3, go. Just do it. And so that's where we come in, is that our mindset together is that if you're scared, like, it's a good idea then. Like, just do it. Yeah. And so that's where this whole training stuff came from.
Yeah. Okay. We had to, go ahead, Bailey.
I was just going to say, how many people are the 140 people that are, can you see how we had a 30-minute Zoom meeting planned with us 3 and it lasted like 2 hours long because of these 2 DTDs over here.
It's just like so nice and so just like, I'll let you guys talk, and me and Julia are like, but anyhow, Bailey, we need Bailey to like regulate us and pull us in. You know what I mean? And be the mama bear. But we definitely have a plan of attack. So we wanted to share that with you guys because you know what? Us keeping it in is doing nothing, right? So we basically decided to start off, kick off February with a coach sneak peek. So we're, you know, more I don't know, more minds are better than one, more people are better than one, right? Because you guys, at the end of the day, I think what happens is a lot of times people don't do coach sneak peeks is 1, they're nervous, but 2, because it is time consuming. So I've tried it multiple different ways. I started with 4 days and then went down to 3 days. And then I did like a 1-dayer. So I've tried it multiple different ways. And then Bailey and Julia were like, hey, let's do it together. And I was like, cool. So we're each taking 1 day. And this is how we're planning February. So starting tomorrow at the end of January, because we want to rock February, right? Ashley and I are totally going to win team cups. So like you guys can just chill. So I'm going Wednesday. I'm totally kidding you guys. I'm going tomorrow and I'm going to start by sharing my story. And then I'm going to intro Julia and Bailey. And then they're going to go, you know, Julia's going to do the day in a life and common objections. And then Bailey's going to finish us up with compensation on Friday. So that's going to intro us Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday into the 1st of February in a sneak peek. The people who join our sneak peek who want to join us in life and in the coaching business, we're going to sign up this weekend. And then we're also going to invite anybody in our current teams who are emeralds or emeralds, right? Or who are running to be emerald, who are not yet emerald, into an emerald dash next week. So on Monday, we're going to plug them into an emerald dash and we're going to do a 1-week Monday through Sunday. You have to hit emerald by the time it's the following Sunday. And we are going to plan a training for each. So now and again, coming into the following week, we're each going to take a day and we're potentially going to have a guest speaker if we can wrangle somebody in to be a guest speaker for the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then they have until Sunday to hit emerald. But we're really going to push our newbies who are coming into the business to right away in a week hit emerald. And then once they do that on that Sunday, on that next Monday, we put them into the Diamond Dash group. And this could be coaches who are already part of our teams or people in this group that hit emerald. So if you do, that's kind of the prize, is that you get into the next stage of what is like our push group. So then for the next 3 weeks, we are going to be doing trainings and helping them then achieve the next level of success in their business. Go ahead, Bailey. I feel like you want to say something.
No, I'm so excited. I just like want tomorrow to start like already. I'm so excited for this. But like this all started because we're like, hey, we like each other. Obviously, we're all running because we see each other's success club points. Obviously, we're all funny because we watch each other's stories. Like, let's try this thing together. And like, I just think that's the value of like not seeing a success partner as like a marriage or just 2 people, because like Shannon's, like Julia's called it a threesome. It's just like the perfect person to bring under our wing because this girl's fire right now. So why not? Let's help each other out. Let's see what each other's doing. Maybe we'll be able to help Shannon with something that's working with us. Maybe we'll be able to learn what the heck Shannon's doing in our coach sneak peeks and learn that from her. So it's like, we're helping our team grow, but we're also growing as well. And so I'm just really, really excited. And so I want to challenge you guys, like, if this has been something that you're doing, if you're sitting on this team call and you have not done a coach sneak peek before, schedule one for February. Like, hello, let's get one started. Even if you have to put like your mom, your boyfriend, and your sister in the group, do it. Try it. You have to have that first one. And I know this is like, I know it's contradicting me to say because I've like stumbled across these and I've failed at a couple, but just because I failed at a couple doesn't mean that I can't succeed. So I'm super excited for this one coming up. I'm super excited to team up. Do you guys want to go through some Q&As? Because we have a few lined up.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to say one more thing too, is I know because I think when you first start, you're really focusing on customers. Like you really, and it's hard to transfer over to where your customers and you're trying to recruit coaches at the same time. So this is obviously like new and scary for us in terms of that. But this is the thing, is it's never going to change unless you do it. So we have tried things before. We've tried different coach sneak peeks. We've tried different ways of inviting. We've tried different recruiting. And sometimes it sucks. Sometimes shit hits the fan and it does not work. But sometimes it does work. So if you're doing something and it's still not working, just keep tweaking it, you guys. I promise you something will stick. Something will happen where you'll just like meet a Shannon and then you'll be able to like team up with Shannon.
Oh, no, you didn't.
And like post this whole thing. So seriously, put yourself out there. I think that's the whole point of it, is put yourself out there.
I love that you said keep trying and try it in different ways, because that's what this is. You guys, I can't tell you how many, let's take it to Etsy presets. Can we talk about Etsy presets and how whack my profile looked for a minute? Because you have to, you guys, you don't just happen upon something and you're like, boom, I'm done. Or like with your stories, maybe something totally flopped and, whatever, it didn't go the way that you wanted to go. Whatever it is, you have to continue. That's what is going to make you successful, by continuing to try and fail forward.
Yep.
Boom. Okay, so the first question I see, I'll go ahead and grab. It was at 6:03. How do you deal with people ghosting you? I love this question because I get ghosted on the daily. I just see as a ghost as an opportunity to follow up, and I think that most of my turnaround is about 3 to 6 months anyways. So, I get that, rare diamond in the bluff where I invite them and they sign up that day, but a lot of mine is in that first or second follow-up. So I'm not intimidated by ghosts. I don't see them as no's. I see them as busy moms who read my message and didn't reply. I see them as scared to say yes or ask questions. So I'm going to continue to show up to be my best self, and I will check back in with them next month and maybe the next month. And if they didn't block me, the next month, and we'll just have a conversation. And if I need to talk to them about something other than Beachbody, if they post a picture about their dog or whatever, then I'll talk to them about their dog. But I just see this as a gift, and I am so honored that it was brought into my life. So I'm going to find you, and I'm going to help you get this gift too. Let's see. Julia, go ahead and answer. What do you think is the best way to find your success partner?
Okay, for one, as Bailey says, it's not a marriage, but it is a marriage as far as communication. Like, set the boundaries. As you can tell, Bailey and I's personalities are different. Bailey's like, she's so sweet, you want to like give her a hug. Me, I'm in your face a little bit. And so when we first started this, I told her, you're not holding me back. I'm not holding you back. Start there. Like if it's not working and your business is lacking because of that person, like, get rid of it. Okay. Start there and always be open. Always, always, always. That is how you're going to find your true partner, is being open. You have to communicate. You can't Bailey and I have never been in a situation where she's uncomfortable and she hasn't told me and then it's like awkward, or vice versa. Like we just don't, that's not how it works. So just as you would with your spouse, you need to also do that this way too. So just always communication, and you have to be open together. So although Bailey and I are so different, she has really good ideas. I have really good ideas. And so you just have to vibe well. If you guys can't go dancing together, you're not going to be partners. End of story. So just figure it out that way too. That's
yes.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Ashley just commented in the comments chat section. Emily was one of Ashley's ghosts, and I was one of Ashley's ghosts. So you guys, I am a creep. I am a huge creep. I creeped and stalked Ashley for 3 years, you guys, just sitting back, like watching, not going to do anything about it, showing up in her sneak peek. And then I was like, boom, I'm your coach, ready? And she's like, whoa, wait, what happened? It was like, you have to just continue to follow up with these people because they need you. At the end of the day, if you believe that with your whole heart, they need this, they need us, they need this tribe of women, they need this goodness. That will help you follow up because you're not selling, you're not pressuring them. You literally want to change their life. And so that will help you feel better about following up and the manner in which you follow up.
So I think a great place to find a success partner is on the team page. I think our coach family is up to 1,000 people. So I guarantee there's one person in there that you can vibe with. So maybe find somebody that you think and stalk their social media, see what you think, have a conversation, set up a Zoom call, set those boundaries and see if you guys are running at the same pace. Me and Julia knew each other ahead of time, but Shannon was just our lucky Instagram stalker. Oh, Julia, here's a question for you. What kind of invites do you post, Julia? Like an example, and do you use your personal or business fit Facebook page?
Are you talking to me? Or
yeah, boo. You.
Oh, I intertwine everything. So this is my thing, is when I first started, I felt like my page was more like preaching at people, like on how you can do better, blah, blah, blah. But then I realized, like, if I was somebody, I would want tips and tricks and takeaways every time. I would be attracted to somebody's page if I could take something away every time I went there. And so now I try to talk about, like, how I get up an hour earlier and get a million trillion things done, and how I will eat ice cream, a pint of ice cream a night if it was up to me. So how I'm able to, like, navigate that, especially with my food stuff. So take what makes, like Shannon said, what makes you you, and you want to just incorporate everything. Don't be boring and only do fitness and only do meal prep or whatever. Like, I have pictures of my dogs. I have a million pictures with Bailey's daughter, because duh. Just, you have to put everything in there. Be you.
I like what you just said too. I just want to expand on that, Julia, because you said I. And so I think what sometimes we do, you guys, without even noticing it, because I found myself doing it too, is I was like, you want to join my boot camp. You need you. And I was, without even knowing it, I was literally pointing my finger at people in their face and was probably turning a bunch of people off. So if you guys haven't gone to well, you don't have to go to my page, but I'm just saying, my social media has transitioned because every single post that I make now is a story about what makes me me, or who I am, or something that happened to me. And that's going to resonate with somebody more. It's going to put them in a position where they want to listen to you. Whereas if you're finger pointing, it's just going to turn them off. So now when we're in our stories, I'm saying, you know, I'm doing this because this has helped me in XYZ way. I get up early because of XYZ. I love this book because of XYZ, but it's all about the reason why this is changing my life instead of me pointing my finger at other people, because it's such a turnoff. Like when you do this and you, like, it goes back to cramming something down somebody's throat.
Yeah. I was thinking about that the other day because I was very frustrated with the amount of ghosts I had gotten on this particular day. And instead of, like, being pissed about it, I thought, like, I ghosted people too. So my post, if you go back, it says, I used to ghost the shit out of people. That was the beginning of my post. And then I talked about, why did I ghost them? Because I was scared, because I was insecure, because I didn't think I could do it. Stuff like that. And so, like Shannon's saying too, if you're frustrated about something and you feel like you have to get something off your chest and you can relate to it, tell it in a story that relates to you and your situation and the way that you got past it. Because it's really like, what's the problem and how did I find a solution to that? That's what people want. That's what they want to see.
Yeah.
Shannon, there was a question for you. What would you recommend someone doing if they with their Instagram stories when they start their workday as early as 4 a.m.?
Oh, girlfriend, 4 a.m. Okay. So I'm assuming you get ready in the morning. And so what I would do is, even if you have 3 extra minutes in the morning, if you post, like when I post my first story, it's within a couple of minutes that I've gotten up. So I take just a couple of minutes and I show my morning routine, and then I show the personal, because I listen to my personal development while I'm starting to get ready in the morning. And so while you're getting ready or showering or whatever, post that you're, whatever you're listening to or whatever you have going for your personal development. Then once you get to work, if they're not giving you a 15-minute break, it's against the law. I'm kidding. But if you get any, like, little type of break, if you're in the bathroom stall, go in and do a story and make a joke. Just go into the, you know, like whatever you wanted, like obviously your personality, but whenever you get like if you go outside and you do a break, I know one of my girlfriends works 12-hour shifts. She used to just eat in the lunchroom. Now she goes outside and she makes a story while she's walking. And then right when you get off work, when you get in your car, talk about something that happened during the day, but right when you get off work. So you have to, if you want to work this business, you have to make it work for your schedule, and you can do it. I have coaches on my team who have 4 kids. I have coaches on my team that work 3 12-hour shifts. You have to, even if it's just a couple minutes around the nooks and crannies of your life, you have to find these little pockets. And that's for anything. That's for stories. That's for messaging people back. That's for inviting. That's for whatever. I will say also, I get a little bit less sleep these days because you know what I'm doing? At night, I'm laying in bed, and you guys, probably some of the coaches that are on this call right now that have joined my team, I've probably been the little nightlight, you know, in my bed at the end of the day, messaging you back because I just want this that bad that I found a way.
There's an app that I've been using, just a side note. It's called Planology. I don't know if anybody else uses this, Planology, but I'm super busy in the mornings and I don't have time to post sometimes. So I'll schedule my stuff so you can schedule your posts. And I saw recently you can also schedule your stories. So if you want to like video during the day or whatever and get organized and schedule that for the following day, do that too. Because I have to do that sometimes because I work full time and I do this probably 40 extra hours a week too, minimum. So plan ahead for sure.
All right, let's see. I think all of us use our personal Facebook page, or does Shannon, do you have a business or a fitness page on Facebook?
So I don't, and I don't use you guys, I don't even use my personal Facebook page. I have not I'm the worst person to ask about that. But I do have, because I have the public, or what is it? You're a public figure. It does go to a Facebook page, right? And so literally just this week, after being in the business for 7 months, I went there and I had 100 likes without me doing, I didn't even know. So I put a profile picture there and I literally went through and was like, oh my gosh, I haven't even been using this page. Thank you so much for liking this page. I didn't even realize it was there. So now I'm going to start using that moving forward because I literally have been 100% focused on Instagram.
And the fact that you can link them up, like I know Julia does the same post she'll do on Instagram as what she does on Facebook. And I was extremely turned off by this thought at first. And then I heard a stat that only 6% of the followers see your crap. So I guarantee the 6% that's seen on Instagram isn't the same exact 6% that are seen on Facebook. So if you're creating good content, post it on as many platforms that you can help people with. Okay, I see. Julia, are you still hosting free groups? I loved your call that you did.
Thank you, girlfriend. That's my jam. Free groups is how I hit diamond so quickly. Was I do a 5-day free group. I think Allie has my recording of that. So if you guys want to check that out. But I stopped doing that for a while, and then I realized there were so many people that were scared and they just kept putting it off, kept putting it off. And that's my gold. So I ran one. I'm doing them quarterly now. I always ask Bailey if she wants to do them or not. I mean, I've been doing them by myself. I get a lot of customers from that. And then I've done it with a few other coaches where we've teamed up and they didn't get customers. So it just depends. It's my jam. So I do this quarterly now because I don't want to always offer free shit to everybody. So I do them once every 3 months and they work out great every time I do them. I think it's a great way to get your name out there and for people to see your face and start to get to know you pretty much.
Ooh, Shannon, do you message everyone who watches your stories and follows you?
Oh my God. If I had 25 arms, I would totally do that. You guys, I do, yes, I do try to. I'm behind you guys. So yes, I try to message people that story me and people that follow me. But I do not get to everybody, you guys, because right now I'm trying to fit it in with all the other things. And I am hustling my butt off in any way that I possibly can. So if I have 5 minutes, yes, I thank people for watching my stories. Do I get to all of them? Not yet. But when any time that I'm not doing something, if I don't have a message in my DMs, if I don't have a message on Facebook and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm not doing anything, I'm going to invite. I'm never sitting there going, I don't have a next move. My next move is that I want to get I need messages. I need somebody to respond. I need something going. I need an interaction. I need a conversation going with somebody. So I'm going to go thank 10 of my followers for following me, because that is awesome that they are following my journey here. So I'm going to go do that. Then that might open conversation, or I'm going to make a story so that then somebody reacts. You know, it's like I never sit there stale. As soon as I am and I don't have something to respond to in my DMs, I am making my next move. And that's kind of how I maneuver, is that I'm constantly like, I'm kind of just constantly doing something.
How would you handle it if someone you recruit wants to sync up with one of the other coaches leading the sneak peek? I think the more the merrier. Obviously Shannon's been successful doing them by herself, but I think sneak peeks are time consuming. And I think sometimes somebody, maybe it was Jamie, brought up the metaphor of ice cream. Like, everyone loves ice cream, but like, you have a favorite flavor. And so I think just having more voices on your sneak peek, like the more the merrier. I think that you need to set up like some sort of boundary. Like in ours, we added a question like, who added you into the sneak peek? So that way we know who we're in charge of tracking, and we keep responsibility for our own people throughout the sneak peek. But I would think that it's up to you, because it's your business, girlfriend.
Well, again, just have people you vibe with, though, because think of it as a school group project. You don't want one person doing it. So just make sure you guys everybody gets along pretty well, because then it could just be drama, you know.
Oh my gosh, is that all the questions? Oh, Allie posted the link for the free group recording, so it is in the comments. Okay, anything else?
I saw Jamie talked about my sweatshirt. Look at this sweatshirt, though. Seriously, you guys. Can we all get matching ones?
I did think it said Your Highness, so I do love that.
It says Your Thighness. And if you know me, you know that there's a lot going on. Jamie, I'll get you one. We'll wear matching ones at Summit. Don't worry.
I am obsessed. I took so many notes. Like, you never stop learning. It doesn't matter, coach, who gives a shit? You never stop learning. I thought this was brilliant, you guys. I'm really, really excited. I just feel like, and you guys people watching this call, there's a lot of really good feedback on here, but I'm like, oh, these three are going to be elite coaches this year. Like, no doubt about it. One day they'll be Million Club. One day they'll be like top 10. Because you don't run your businesses scared. Like, I just love, there's a lot of these questions that I'm seeing, and you guys were gracious enough to answer. I'm like, oh, scared question. Because a lot of you guys are like, what will people think? What do you do? Like, the question about what if someone wants to join another coach in the sneak peek, that's a very scared question. And not that fear isn't welcome in this, but you can't let it be your driving force. And so if you're afraid of what they think on the other side of that message, or afraid to video I hear that a lot, like people are afraid to video on stories because of putting themselves out there and stuff. And if you're afraid that like you're going to add people to a group and they're going to like that coach better, like that is just a lot of fearful kind of thoughts. And I believe in the secret. I believe what you put out, you attract. So if you are very afraid of all kinds of things, then you're not going to attract success into your life. And I just feel like the theme for all of you guys was kind of just like, we are not afraid, and we are taking ownership of our business. I loved so many, yes, there's enough sunshine for everybody. Like you said something like that, Bailey, like there's room for all of us to make it. And there is not a finite number of people. I just feel like, I feel so energized, like PMS it's not here anymore. I feel so freaking excited to like watch you guys, but also to implement some shit. I think your sneak peek rolling in directly into an Emerald group, rolling directly into a Diamond group is genius. And if I could get my shit together in time, I would do it, but maybe I'll do it just a week later. Like, I just feel so excited for you guys. I don't know. And obviously everyone else loved it too, because the comments were off the chain. So thank you so much for pouring so much of yourselves into this call and being so giving with your knowledge. And Julia, I think what I'm going to have you do, I mean, I know the link was posted, but at some point I'll have you go live in the Runner Circle page to share your free group training in there also, because I feel like that would be good. And yeah, so you guys want to get into the Runner Circle, hit Success Club this month. We have 2 more days. And just don't run your business scared. Like, get the F after it. I am so on fire right now. You guys are the best. Thank you so much.